Hello, today I'd like to talk about creating marketing assets for your game. And I mean, it's tough, especially if you don't have a strong graphic design background, but I mean, basically, if you want to sell your game, I think, having eye-catching images for these Steam, sales that are sort of indicative of the style of gameplay and what you want to communicate. So, for the longest time on our Steam stuff, we just used Neverending Nightmares, sort of our stylized text logo with the guy opening the door. And then, actually, I have it on a shirt. So that, we just use this top part here for all of our banners and images and stuff. But as we're approaching release, I realize that's pretty terrible because if someone just sees that, they know absolutely nothing about the game other than it's called Neverending Nightmares. So I tried to think of elements that we would want to communicate in the image. So we wanted to communicate that it's a horror game. It has a unique art style. And I don't know, we do cool things with light and dark and shading. So that's basically what we decided to do for the new marketing art. So we have the character holding a candle, and the candle has, sort of the shading effect, and then we have a ghost with bloody eyes, sort of behind him. And I think that conveys a lot of information, or at least I hope, some objects are in color, blood is in color, we have this lighting and darkness system, they'll get a feel for the art style and how it's this sort of storybook or Edward Gorey look. And then, of course, we still have a smaller version of Neverending Nightmares, our cool logo. So, I mean, it's definitely a pain to do all the graphic design, especially when we're trying to, shove out a game, get the game out the door. But I think, that's going to be worth it, because I think people sort of judge you on those icons, and if they're not really catchy, then, people might not click through. Then the next stage is, I think you need a really good trailer. And I think, we made our trailer, our teaser for like Kickstarter and everything that we've been using. We made that ourselves, and we were sort of under the tutelage of Kurt Garner, who's like the indie trailer guy, and he gives a lot of feedback and advice. But, we really wanted something awesome for our launch trailer, because that's the thing that's going to be playing on Steam as soon as people bring up the page, and also we can hopefully tie it to when we do our release date announcement. We can say, oh, release date here's a new trailer, and hopefully get some buzz and get some press outlet. I mean, I'm sure, or get some press articles on different outlets, and I'm sure not every outlet will run it, but I'm hoping at least a few will, and certainly, I think the work that Kurt did and the work, on a trailer, it's kind of weird, because the first time I saw the trailer, I, didn't get it, and I'm like, this is not the game, it doesn't, everything's out of order and mismatched, and I'm just like, nah. But then, as I thought about it more and watched it over and over again, I warmed up to it. It's really great because it effectively creates the feelings and the ideas of the game without really spoiling anything about the game. So you can't really figure out anything from the trailer about the game. But it looks really amazing, and I think it's going to be really catchy. And I mean, it sort of gives you the feeling of a nightmare, and that you're going to be waking up over and over again, and all sorts of terrible things are happening, and it even has some sort of like jump scares built in, so it's I think it's a really great trailer for giving the feel of the game without actually I mean, it keeps people interested. It's short, and I mean, it's a little over a minute, and there's a lot of cuts and interesting things going on. So I think that'll really help sell the game. It certainly gets people excited. I mean, I would think that it would get people excited about the game just from watching it. So hopefully, good things will come of that. But so that, and then that sort of prepares all of our assets and marketing for like the buy page. So you go to buy the game, and then you see all this good stuff. And I think that's important. And I mean, I think we probably need to spend a little bit more time on the text, the marketing text, because it's tough. I think it's tough marketing a game and finding the right things to say to the right people. Because, I mean, certainly the mental health aspect of the game has been very appealing to press and Kickstarter backers. But, is that something that is generally appealing about the game? Maybe. Is that something, I should try and downplay for the, the Steam buy page? I don't know. I mean, certainly we, in the current incarnation, we do mention it. Whether it'll work for or against us is, it's hard to say. I mean, people felt like on Retrograde we didn't make it clear enough that it was a rhythm game and not a shoot 'em up. Which, I mean, I felt like we were super clear with that, but, I mean, I guess, it depends how you selectively read. So, I mean, people aren't always going to be satisfied with your description, and then, let's see, and then another time, someone suggested that maybe people weren't buying it on Steam because we didn't mention that it was playable with the keyboard. We just said, gamepads and controllers, because we actually just cut and pasted we said guitar controllers and gamepads, because we basically just pulled it out of our PS3 description. Which, I mean, I think it should be assumed that basically every game on PC supports keyboard controls, right? I mean, unless your game, for whatever reason, just totally can't map to a keyboard and mouse, which would be a very challenging game to design. But, I mean, I'm sure that there could be one. But, I mean, unless that's the case, it seems like you would want to add keyboard controls, and I mean, if you're gamepad only, you'd want a big disclaimer that says, does not support keyboard gamepad required, or something. At least, that's how I would approach it. So, I mean, I don't know, and, I mean, it's weird, because I think Steam is strange, and people will just buy, the game if they like the page, without looking into it, too much. I was on a panel at PAX, and I think, the president of Telltale was saying, on Steam, people seem to just like to collect games and never play them. So, I mean, like, to some extent, especially with sales and whatnot, they make snap judgments, like, is this something I'd like in my library, that I might play, or is this not? I mean, I know I've bought a lot of games that I've, thought I might play, but I haven't gotten around to it, or, I thought, this would be cool, I want to have this, I want to play it, and then I just haven't, and whether or not I will. So many games coming out this fall, I don't know. I mean, certainly, if people buy the game and don't play it, I'm okay with that. I mean, really, because at this point, we're trying to generate enough from sales to keep the company afloat, because we can't, like, immediately turn around and do another Kickstarter, because we won't really have anything to present. So, buy the game, play it or not. I mean, obviously, I'd like people to play it because I think that's an important message. But I mean, right now, my main concern is, getting enough from sales such that we can keep the company afloat. Anyway, so that's my little spiel about marketing and how to hopefully get people attention on your Steam page or whatever sort of marketing landing page you have. So thanks for watching.